Hello, hope you're having a wonderful day. My name is Miss Bridges. I teach third grade at Ralph Witters Elementary School, and I'm going to share one of my favorite stories with you today. It's a little bit of a goofy one, and I had to invite two special guests to help me read this story. This first one is sitting right next to me. This is Wrangler. He's my Chihuahua Dachshund, and he is 1 year old, and he loves story time, but he's pretty active right now, so he might go play. He might have to leave us. I can see him trying to get away right now. And then our other special guest is actually the star of the book we're going to be reading. So this is Walter. And some of you might already know him, and you already might know that there's something very unique about him. But I'm going to show you what the title of our story is first. So the story that I'm reading today is Walter the Farting Dog. Yep, Walter farts a lot. And Wrangler's a big fan of Walter. But I'm going to set Walter right. Are you going to try to eat Walter? Are you going to try to get him? Leave Walter alone. See, he's trying to get Walter right now. Leave him alone. Okay. You ready, Walter? You ready, Wrangler? You ready for story time? Okay. Oh, Wrangler has his toy. Walter the Farting Dog. Betty and Billy brought Walter home from the dog pound. Nobody wanted him, said Billy. But we love him, said Betty. Well, he smells awful, said their mother. I think you'd better give him a bath. Mother walked in and said, he still smells awful. And that's when they got the first clue, the telltale bubbles in the water. Oh. He's probably just a little nervous, said Mother, hopefully. His stomach must be upset. But Walter's stomach wasn't upset. Walter's stomach was fine. He felt perfectly normal. He just farted a lot. Wrangler, not right now. He did it when he bathed. He did it when he played with Betty and Billy. He did it when he walked around the house. He did it in the dining room. He did it in the kitchen. And he did it in his sleep. That dog farts morning, noon, and night, said Father. He can't help it, Daddy, said Betty and Billy. They didn't mind Walter's farts. So what if he farts, Billy said to Betty when they were alone in their room with Walter. Betty agreed. Walter agreed too. He sat there looking innocently around, farting. Take him to the vet, said Father. Farting, said the vet, or rectal flatulence, as we say in the medical profession, and prescribed a change in diet. They gave Walter every kind of dog food. He farted. They tried him on cat food. They gave him hot dogs, hamburgers, and lettuce and tomato sandwiches. They gave him fried chicken. They gave him rabbit food. They made him a vegetarian. No matter what that dog eats, he turns it into farts, roared Father. There's the picture. Walter got the blame for everybody else's farts, too. If Uncle Irv let one slip, he just went and stood near Walter. Then all he had to do was say, Walter! And everybody would look at poor Walter. Look at little Walter in his hat. He has to go back to the pound, said Father. No, Daddy, please, begged Betty and Billy. Don't send Walter away. He goes tomorrow, said Father. They pleaded. Walter farted. It was all over. That night, Betty and Billy cried in their beds, and Walter looked at them unhappily. Oh, Walter, said Betty, you've got to stop farting. "Because Father is going to send you back to the pound tomorrow," said Billy. Walter knew how serious the situation was. He'd never see Betty and Billy again. He resolved to hold in his farts forever. When Betty and Billy fell asleep, he walked down to the kitchen to see if there was anything around to eat. He managed to open the cupboard door with his nose and found the 25-pound bag of low-fart dog biscuits the vet had prescribed for him, which had made him fart more. Got what he's doing. Even though he knew they made him fart more, he couldn't resist. He ate the entire bag. "Very tasty," said Walter to himself. And then he went and lay down on the sofa. A gigantic gas bubble began to build inside him. "This is going to be trouble," he said to himself nervously. He was afraid of what might happen if he let it go. He thought maybe the house would explode, so he kept it in. It wasn't easy. In fact, it was torture. But he had resolved never to fart again. His future depends on it. As he lay there with his tail wrapped tightly between his legs, he heard a noise at the window. Oh, I wonder who it is. Oh, no. He watched it slowly open. A pair of burglars came through. They dropped silently into the kitchen. "Watch out for the dog," said one of the burglars. "He won't bite," said the other. "He's a wimp." Walter might have bitten them, except he was so filled with gas he couldn't move. They tied a rag around his snout so he couldn't bark. "Okay," whispered the first burglar. "Let's clear the place out." They took everything they could get their hands on. Walter wanted to stop them, but he was having unbearable gas pains. He rolled on his back and waved his paws in the air. He gnashed his teeth. "We've got it all," said the second burglar. "Let's go." That's when Walter let it fly. It was the worst fart of his life. It made a tremendous noise and shot him across the room. A hideous cloud filled the air. The burglars clutched their throats, unable to breathe. With tears in their eyes, they raced for the window. They tried to grab their bag with all the valuables in it, but their arms were too weak. "Let's get out of here." Look at Walter fly across the room. They jumped out the window and ran up the block, choking and gasping for air. Still blinded by Walter's attack, they stepped into the headlights of an approaching police car. Uh-oh. "Hold it right there," said the policeman. When Father and Mother came down in the morning, they found the open window, and they saw the bag with their valuables in it, and Walter was sitting beside it. He still had the rag tied around his snout. You'd have to say he looked heroic, like a hero. "He saved the silverware," cried Mother. "He saved the VCR," cried Father. "Good dog, Walter. You're our dog, even if you do fart all the time." And so the family learned to live with Walter, the hero dog, and that's the end of our tale. And then I like this picture. I'm going to pull this up close so you can see it. Thought it was kind of funny. Well, I hope you enjoyed that book so much and fell in love with Walter the farting dog. He's a pretty awesome character. He's pretty sweet. And thank you for joining Walter, me, and come here, Wrangler. Come here. And Wrangler, who's not listening. Come here. Come here. Come on. And you have a wonderful rest of your day. And stay safe, stay healthy, and we miss you lots. Bye.